Hey everyone, I'm Adam, and today we have Chris on. She's actually really close to me. We have Airbnbs very close to each other. But today we're going to be talking about her Airbnb, and her process and how she got to where she is and her future plans and goals with this whole ecosystem. How you doing, Chris?
I'm very well. You?
I'm doing good. So why don't you just real quick give a background on how you got into renting out your place as an Airbnb?
We kind of stumbled into it, honestly. We used to do long-term rental. We've owned the property since 2007. It was in the family, my husband's family, for a long time. And we rented it out long-term for years to different people. And then we had some really bad renters, your typical stories you hear. And we got them out and we gutted the house and redid as much as we could. And, the house is really old. And you saw some of the pictures, Adam. Once we did the floors, I said to my husband, what now? I don't want people in here. I don't want somebody in here ruining it after we spent hours in here. And my cousin does Airbnb in Hunter Mountain. And she said, hey, try Airbnb. And I was like, who the hell wants to come out here? And that was July 4th of 2019, and we haven't stopped.
Really?
Yeah, this is the last 2 weeks because of COVID. I've had people cancel, and this is the longest I've had not had anybody in the house.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, so we actually are in the same area, as I told everyone.
Competition.
I guess no, it's different. Okay,
it is.
I understand why people come to my place because my place can sleep 30 people.
Right.
It is the destination, and we have events. I'm coming at your place like, why? In my head, I would be like, why would I want to buy a house out there? Like, nothing's around. I understand mine, but why are people coming to your place?
The first year, like I said, we started up in July, so that was kind of in the peak season, and it was a total learning curve. But different things: family, baseball, weddings, funerals. And just wanting to get away, and then leaf peepers in the fall, and then we booked up for the summer of 20 with baseball, all Cooperstown, because we're only about 25 minutes from Cooperstown. And then the pandemic hit, and I lost every booking I had, and I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? But then I had everybody from the city wanting to get out. They wanted to get out of the city because of the pandemic. They wanted the space. They wanted the freedom. So it's been a good mix for us, honestly. I do get baseball people. I have repeat guests that come back now, which is really nice. So it's a good mix, different things, family coming home to see family. In the holidays, people want the farmhouse charm. They want to be in the farmhouse for Christmas, or they want to be in the farmhouse for Thanksgiving. So really, we have a good variety.
Okay, that's very interesting because a lot of us out there, a lot of people I talk to don't want to invest in our area because we're afraid, they're afraid what's going to happen. No one's going to come to. Honestly, people would describe where we're from as the middle of nowhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So it's good to hear a story about we're in the middle of nowhere, but you're still consistently booked all the time.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
But that's the appeal for the city folks is the fact that, they can go out and sit on the front porch and watch the sun come up and not hear the noise. And, and I have teenage boys. Well, they're adults now, but when we first started this process, they had loud cars, like the mufflers that were really loud. And I would get so mad at them. I'd be like, you can't do that. We have guests over there.
Right.
Not realizing my guests were used to that. That's nothing for them.
Right.
So,
do you allow events at your place? Because, it's a farmhouse. It's got property.
Large events, no. I did have somebody in this past spring did like a graduation party from college. They probably had maybe 30 people. So I'm kind of lenient there. If they give me a heads up, definitely I'm not a stickler. I just don't want any damage. That's the biggest thing.
No one does.
It's tough.
Yeah. So like, besides being on Airbnb, do you market any other way, like with Instagram or Facebook or?
I've tried Facebook. Of course, you got to pay for your ads.
Right.
And, I get tire kickers. People, and in the ad on Facebook, I'll say, for more information, and I provide the link for Airbnb or Vrbo, because I do use Vrbo.
Okay. Yeah.
But a lot of tire kickers. I've not had anybody book off of Facebook.
Right. What do you find?
Honestly, don't need it.
Yeah, exactly. We only do Airbnb. We haven't experimented with VRBO yet. We do have an Instagram page and a Facebook page just to show off, some stuff. Send people there. Airbnb versus VRBO, like which one does more?
Hands down, Airbnb.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, Adam. I've even lowered my prices on by the Vrbo site, and I still don't get a lot of hits. So I'm not really sure if it's just not the trending site. I don't know.
Right. I don't know. I've never messed with it. We're thinking about putting it on Vrbo, but like double the price and see if that works. And be like, oh, hey, we got more money off of that one. I don't know.
Just make sure you sync your calendars.
Yeah, that's important. Like I've heard stories like where people were doing calendars manually, and within the 15 minutes that they're going over to go change, someone else tried booking.
Yes.
And then it's like a big nightmare.
It's crazy. It definitely is.
So you said it was a big learning curve. Like what is some of the mistakes or some of the things that you had to do that, you could tell people like, and then they can learn from your lesson?
Well, I have a rule book or a policy or guidebook, I call it, I guess, to make it a little more friendly. Just, different things. We're pet friendly. A lot of people travel with their pet. We do. But the simple things like picking up after your pet, like don't leave a pile of dog poop in the middle of the yard for the next people, because I don't go out and inspect the yard.
Right.
Things like that. Just little things, I labeled all my flashlights. For whatever reason, they like to take flashlights. I don't know. These flashlights are 4-in-1, so they're like a floodlight, flashlight, air, night light. Just different things, simple things like pull the grill away from the house, because the way the grill is situated, it kind of sits next to the house.
Yeah.
Pull away from the house.
People, once you get in this business, you realize that once people go on vacation, they get dumb for whatever reason. Like, we were having the same problem. The grill is next to the barn. The barn wood is almost 100 years old. So we pulled it out and secured it to the ground with this like secure system so that they can pick it up 2 inches and try to move it, but it's not moving.
Yeah, it's crazy. We had a young couple, and I don't know if you allow young people,
not anymore.
Young group of kids. I'm 47, so they were like 23. They stayed for, I want to say it was 10 days, and apparently they ran out of toilet paper, so they used coffee filters, which plugged our septic. Some things like that.
Yeah. We had a group of 18-year-olds, which the mother booked, so we didn't really know that. They didn't know how to clean anything, and so they were cleaning a little bit, but they just took the paper towels and threw them in the toilet. So every toilet was just full of paper towels. It's like, so now when we have a booking, we say we want to know your ages, what you're doing there, whatever.
Yes. You have to.
Yeah, it seems like every time, not every time, but whenever something dumb happens, you're going back to your listing and putting that in.
That's every policy is the direct result of something that has happened.
Right. Okay, so before we started, we were talking about another property you have. So that's one of your future things. So what is that?
So I'm gearing up to open a bar, as we were talking about. In my family since 96, 97. My mom and dad are older, and they retired when the pandemic hit. And, I was in healthcare, and we all have our different views. I'm not okay with a vaccine that's so new. And I'm not saying never, I'm just saying not now. So probably 4 or 5 years ago, I had said to my mom, why don't I help you with the bar again? Because that's what it was when we first opened. It was my mom and I. No, you don't want to do this, is what she told me. And then last Christmas, December of 20, my family had COVID. My 17-year-old brought it home to us. I said to her again, I said, I think I want to do the bar. And her response at that time was, well, you better hurry up and make up your mind. Okay. So here I am. I'm gearing up to open up this bar, just dancing with the Department of Health a little bit, as you and I were talking about. And there's an apartment upstairs that I am going to work on to get that in Airbnb.
Right, because in the name of the place it says, we're not going to say the name online, but what is it at the end of it? Motel or hotel?
Hotel.
Hotel.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're going to have an Airbnb.
Go ahead.
Because you're going to have an Airbnb up in it. But yeah, wait. So I'll always wonder that there's a lot of bars around that say motel or hotel, and then there's nothing there. What is that about?
Well, because the building, like my farmhouse that I'm sitting in, was built in the early 1800s. So it's built, and it's amazing. But back in the day, the very downstairs, the bottom floor was a post office. It was a trading post. It was all these different things. And the upstairs was actual rooms, like you hear about people renting a room because they're passing through and horse and buggy or whatever.
Gotcha.
So, and you can see the old patterns, like the old walls and stuff where they were upstairs.
So, but you're turning it into just a 1-unit apartment?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Now, earlier you said in your competition, but you're going to have a bar around the corner. There's no bars anywhere.
Correct.
You know, when I have 30 people spending the night, you know where they're going to go?
Hopefully you're going to send them right up to me, Adam.
Yeah, so we're going to have to connect, and we're going to have to get something so that we can put it in our book.
Definitely.
On the table.
Absolutely.
Also, I wonder if anyone's ever stayed at your house for a wedding that was at my place.
Probably. I get a lot of wedding people.
Actually. Yeah, because I mean, we can sleep 30, but there's still more people. So I'm going to guarantee that someone stayed at your place to go to the wedding at my place.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. There's 2 more Airbnbs not too far from me. They're actually within a mile and a half.
Oh, well. So. This is crazy. It's like, I was looking to go into the Utica area more. But talking to you now, I'm not as scared to get in the middle of nowhere.
No, go to the middle of nowhere.
Right, because
in today's world, people want to be able to stretch out and just be free and not be bogged down by things, you know?
Right. We also benefit, though. We're in the middle of nowhere, but we're near Cooperstown.
Correct.
For the baseball stuff, and that's a big thing. Do you keep track of that kind of stuff? Do you raise your prices during that period of time?
You know, when I first started, first of all, I literally posted it, and we booked from like July 4th weekend right through to September, and I got ran over. Like, I had no idea. I was like, whoa, what just happened?
Right.
And then I tried doing that, like when the pandemic hit. I was like, oh, you know, let me play with these prices a little bit. I leave it now. We're so busy anyway. And, you know, in our industry, they say you want your bookings to be at 75 to 80%, you know, to know that your pricing is right.
Right.
And I stay right within those ranges. So, you know, as long as the house is full, I'm happy, honestly.
Right. Let's get to the cleaning, the logistics. Do you hire someone? Do you do it yourself?
So when I was working full time, I obviously couldn't do it. I had my right-hand girl. And then this past year I hired 2 more girls just to rotate them through. You know, and if I have to, if they are sick or cancel or whatever, then I'll come over and clean. Yeah.
Right. How long does it take to flip your place?
It depends, as you know, it depends on the size. I think the biggest thing is laundry. I don't know what your people say, but laundry is a process. I got to figure out something different. Probably 3 to 4 hours, you know, for a bigger group. Smaller groups, couple hours.
Right. That's amazing. You, before the show, you said you used to clean mine. You know,
I did.
So ours takes about 8 to 10 hours. We only have one person doing it. But the laundry is an issue with all those beds. So he does as much as he can during that day, but he brings a lot of it home and then comes back, you know, before the next people are coming in and, you know, puts it all away or whatever. And because it's such a big place, he has a little bit more to clean. But yeah, laundry does suck.
There's got to be a better way. I have doubles of everything, so they can literally strip the bread, spray the breads, make them while everything else is washing. But you still got to wash it. You're still here.
Yeah. There is that laundromat down in the town of Ilion.
Yes.
The laundromat near me in Whitesboro, we can, if we need to, we can just drop everything off and they'll clean it, fold it, whatever. I don't know if Aliens does that.
They
though.
do that. They do that. I had a fellow stay here. It was when the pandemic hit. He was staying here because he left early. And although we're a non-smoking facility, I think he was smoking in here, which perturbed me a little bit.
Right.
But we literally stripped everything, all curtain, you name it, everything got stripped, the carpets, everything. And I took it down to that laundromat in Ilion. And at the very end of baskets of laundry, the girl's like, "Oh, we do that." I was like,
Okay.
"Oh, great." 4 hours later.
Right. The next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another learning curve.
Obviously, there is an expense to it. It's not a cheap service, especially when you get a lot of stuff, but it is a convenient service. How do you guys handle check-in? Do you have to come give them a key or no? Just
no, we're keyless. I love the keyless. Yeah. And I actually make them when they book, I have my normal spiel. Thank you for booking. If it's a ways out, like I'm booked right now. We're basically booked till November, I believe.
Nice.
And for those far out bookings, I'll say something to the effect of, "Thanks for booking. I'll be in touch a week or two before just to confirm everything. In the meantime, please send me a 4-digit PIN for the keyless entry." And then that way they know that I'm changing it every time too. That's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you utilize the Airbnb like automated messages?
I don't.
Okay. We only recently
control freak.
Yeah, we only recently did because people weren't taking garbage out. So we automated the day before to say, "Hey, if you're here Sunday, garbage needs to be put out." And we have an automated one when people book. We just have an automated general nice thing that says, but it basically what yours is. We'll get a hold of you closer, but in the meantime, feel free to send us any questions.
Yeah. So you live in Whitesboro, you said.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of a hike for you. We live right across the road.
Right.
So that is super convenient. So I give them all the privacy in the world. Like, we don't bother anybody, but I can keep an eye on the place.
Do they know that you're across the road?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, as soon as the house is ready, because a lot of times I have back-to-back bookings because I don't need that 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
My checkout time is 10 a.m. and check-in time is 4 p.m. So when the house is ready, the girls will text me and say, "Okay, I'm done. The house is ready." I'll send, a message. "Okay, house is ready. Door code's set." And I kind of give them a basic, "Please use this driveway." Trying to think, like we provide firewood for the outdoor wood fireplace. The grill I mentioned, if you're going to use a grill, please move it away from the house.
Right.
And at the end, if you need anything, we're right across the road.
Right. So has that ever been annoying that you're right across the road?
No.
No. That's good.
No.
I
get, the only time we went away for a weekend and my then 19-year-old said, "Mom, I think they're having a party." And I was like, "What?" But they were just a little bit rowdier bunch, which is fine. It has, whatever.
Right. Yeah, I would guess that living across the street actually outweighs any of, because there might be some guest who knows you're across the street and just requests you to do this and that all the time. But would be limited as opposed to how well of you can keep an eye on it because you're right there. Outweighs the 1 or 2 guests that are going to be annoying. All right, so you got your current farmhouse. You're doing the bar hotel. Are you going to be looking in any more Airbnbs?
You know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the market's not friendly for us right now, Adam.
No, it's expensive.
Yeah. So I'm going to wait. Where I'm located, the hamlet that I live in of Miller's Mills, which we have an ice harvest this coming Sunday, or not this coming Sunday, the 13th of February. So if you want to mention that to your guest, there's several houses I have my eye on that I'm just waiting.
Hmm.
I would love to get a hold of them.
Right. You know, the one I want, that white barn going back towards Sequoia. I think Amish people might be in there. There's a white house with a white
Yep.
barn. I
Yep.
want that one.
Yeah. Amish aren't going anywhere.
No, you don't think so?
No.
Honestly, when I drove by your place, because it was the first time I seen I don't know if the sign's always been out there, but I noticed a sign, and I was like, interesting. Do I want that place? And then that's just ironic that that's your place.
That's mine.
Right?
Yep.
And I was trying to figure out what was going to be done with it, because down on the back on the side, it looks like that could be turned into rooms.
The
You know,
very
like
on the gorge side
on the roadside.
So the very lower lot.
Yeah.
So that used to be where the bar was.
Oh, okay.
Many years ago. And then my mom and dad bought, it was a foreclosure. The people that had owned it prior to us basically walked out one day and never went back. So there's a lot of water damage, obviously, in the lower level. So my dad is a handyman, jack of all trades, master of none. He put the bar on the second floor. So once I'm up and running, I want to utilize that space. I just haven't decided for what yet. I don't know yet. We'll see.
Events.
I'm thinking, yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me about, anniversary parties, funeral things, benefits. We'll see. You know what it takes? Money. I gotta get open to get money coming in.
Right. Well, definitely. But yeah, that's a big thing. If it's got water damage, it's gonna.
Yeah.
And you don't want it to look like a VFW hall with white drop-down ceilings. You're gonna want it to look decent.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Wow. So I don't know if you're looking for Airbnbs and I'm looking for Airbnbs. We might be competing on the same house.
Nah, you know what it is? We'll just work together.
Yeah.
That's what I do with my neighbors that have Airbnb. You know, if I'm booked, I'll refer them.
Right.
To them. Or if they have a large group that is too big for here, I'll say, well, there's two other places that are really close, and you guys obviously could work that out. No, I don't think there's enough Airbnbs right now.
Right. No, but we're definitely gonna have to connect so that I can get something to put in the book that we have on our table to let them know that there's a bar down the road.
Definitely.
How long until that's open?
Oh, that's the question of the day.
Right.
So we were talking earlier about the water in our area there. It's tough because it's hard water. Like, I think stones come out of the faucet.
Right.
But because of that, we have sulfate in the water right now. So we're working with Culligan and a water engineer, aka Leprechaun, under a rainbow with a pot of gold. Not many of them. I found one in New Jersey. Anyway, so they're going to design a system that has to be submitted to the state. And once the state says, okay, this will work, we can put in and get going. I'm guessing the end of February, beginning of March, fingers crossed, but it's really up to the state.
Oh, this year?
I have a liquor license.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
I can't do anything with it, but I got it.
Yeah. Well, either way, message me as soon as it's ready, because then if we're not able to connect in person, at least I can put that in the attractions thing.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Definitely.
All right, Chris, thank you very much for being on.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.